Okay, hi everybody. I'm Brandon Harpster, Executive Chef for the Seymour Restaurant Group. And one of the things that we're offering is briskets, whole briskets for sale. They've already been smoked. They just need to finish cooking in the oven. So one question I had with some people was, if you buy a brisket, how do I cut it or how do I carve it? Usually when you go to a restaurant, you get it already sliced. So this is a good, just quick tutorial if you buy one of our briskets on how to cut it up, or this summer if you're smoking a brisket yourself and you need to carve it. For everybody that's going to help you eat it, then you have this. So I have the brisket. It's been wrapped we sell it like this, wrapped in a pan. This is after it's been in the oven for the allotted time. We cook it to an internal oven, it's about 200 degrees, about 3 hours. It comes out, I like to let it sit out at room temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes to let it rest. It redistributes all the juices back into the meat. So as we pull it out, we'll take it out. It should still be plenty warm. So now you see the brisket. I have the whole brisket here, and this part over here is the flat, and then this part, kind of with the hump on it, is the point. And so when we carve this brisket, we always start with the flat, and then we get to the point, we're going to make an adjustment just because of the way of the structure and the grains of the meat kind of change. So I'm going to start carving this and just start pulling off slices. And you'll see with the flat, a lot of times you have you're going to have that nice bark on the outside. You can see that it's still warm and juicy even though it's been sitting out for quite a while. I'm going to make slices that are about 1/4 of an inch thick, or about the thickness of a number 2 pencil. You can use any knife for this. I like to use a serrated knife like I'm using here. If you have some of it that's a little bit drier on the edges, you can always pull that off to the side. And I'm just going to cut this. So kind of I get about up to the point. So once I start seeing slices like this come off, and if you can, I'm not sure if you can see it through the camera, you can see a lot of steam coming off this. So you can see, even after that much time of sitting at room temperature, it's still plenty warm. So I'm gonna pull this brisket out, put it on my tray. I like to save all the little crispy parts. Those are good for sandwiches and whatnot. When you see this, and you can start to see the brisket start to have kind of that separation of that seam in there. That's kind of where the flat and the point meet. So at this time, I'm going to turn it then and start making cuts across. This way I'm going across the grain. It's going to leave the meat a little more juicy, a little more flavorful. And you can see they're really big slices. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll cut it this way and then make another cut halfway down, just so it's smaller pieces for your guests, or if they want to, they could take a whole big piece. But this is why I do like to also, like I said, use a little bit longer knife for this. If you didn't want to, you could make a couple cut. You could cut it across first and then come back and do this. But carving a brisket, as you can see, isn't very hard. It's very, very easy. It's a big piece of meat, but there is, plenty of meat in there, so you can serve quite a few different people. So you have all these slices. You wanted to cut it a little bit thinner, you can. I just like the thick slices because it tends to have a little bit better eating quality when it's like that. So at this point, I could take this brisket, transfer it all over to my platter, nice sliced, ready to go, and then it is ready to serve. Like I said, the one thing I like about brisket is eat the flat first. The point reheats great. So even if you don't eat it all in one day, reheating it the next day for sandwiches or just to eat as is always really good for a brisket. So like I said earlier, we have these for sale down at Single Barrel. You can stop in anytime, pick one up. We're open until 8 o'clock, or you can call ahead and we'll have it ready when you get here. Thanks for watching and stay safe.